Just to clarify for a sec what you were saying before on Medicaid. It wasn't clear to me whether you were saying that no Medicaid would be cut off. Obviously, a lot of this goes to states before it goes to individuals and so forth. So are you guaranteeing here that no individual now on Medicaid would see a cutoff because of the pause?
I'll check back on that and get back to you. John.
Well, I've checked on it for you, Karoline Leavitt, Press Secretary to Donald Trump, and we can confirm that in all 50 states following Donald Trump's federal funding freeze, that Medicaid portals and payment systems are down, throwing Medicaid into complete and utter disarray. I have many friends that I'm aware of right now who have said they don't know if they will be able to have their procedures, which are coming up very soon, and they are crying right now as a result of this horrible, horrible thing that Donald Trump just did. How cruel and fascist can you get? Donald Trump issued a federal funding freeze, which as a result of it shut down the Medicaid portals and payment systems in 50 states. This from Chris Murphy, Democratic senator, can confirm Connecticut's Medicaid payment system has been turned off. Doctors and hospitals cannot get paid in all 50 states. Discussions ongoing about whether services can continue. Medicaid covers health care for millions of seniors and covers 40% of births in America. Democratic Senator Brian Schatz says multiple states locked out of Medicaid portal. This is a Trump shutdown, except this time it's unlawful. Democrats in both the Senate and the House who are involved in the appropriations sent the following letter to the Office of Management Budget, which will be led by Russ Vought, the author of Project 2025. All of this stuff is in Project 2025. That's what they said they were going to do. It's called impoundment. Donald Trump wants to impound all of the federal funds. Remember when Donald Trump said he wants to be a dictator on day one? This is it. So all of these funds have already been prescribed by legislation to go to various agencies, to go to various states, to go to various grant programs, which then are delivered to the people. Trump is trying to seize all of that so that he has all of the money. That's called impoundment. There is a law that says presidents can't impound. The power of the purse belongs to Congress, but I'm sure the MAGA Republicans in the House of Representatives and the Senate don't care that they're a co-equal branch because they're okay with dictatorship. Here's what the letter says from Democrats to the Office of Management and Budget. The scope of what you're ordering by this federal funding freeze is breathtaking, unprecedented, and will have devastating consequences across the country. We write today to urge you in the strongest possible terms to uphold the law and the Constitution and ensure all federal resources are delivered in accordance with the law. And this was signed by Senator Murray and Representative DeLauro. Just so you see, here was the memorandum, which appeared to suggest basically all federal assistance gets frozen. All federal assistance gets frozen. And Donald Trump and his administration say, well, it doesn't apply to Social Security and Medicare. Well, what about Medicaid? What about SNAP? What about all of these other programs? As Christopher Hale writes, Tennessee, the state that delivered Trump his largest raw vote margin of victory nationwide, well, they're poised to lose about $5 billion in federal grants and loans. Democratic Congresswoman Kathleen Clark goes, already community health centers and Head Start programs in Massachusetts and across the country can't access money. The Medicaid payment systems are shut down. Trump is robbing teachers and nurses of their hard-earned paychecks. Senator Martin Heinrich goes, now Trump is blocking New Mexico's access to the Medicaid portal. This won't just hurt 714,000 New Mexicans on Medicaid. It threatens to shut down our entire healthcare system. I'm calling on Trump to undo this chaos immediately. Travis Matthews goes, just so we're all clear, Trump is cutting off SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and free lunches for children. Trump's also cutting off Medicaid to all low-income households. So now only are we forcing low-income families in America to go hungry, we're also cutting off their health care. Did I miss anything? This is from the Nevada Attorney General. Our office is aware of Trump administration's intent to halt federal assistance programs. Any pause to critical funding will harm Nevadans, weaken public safety, and negatively affect programs like Medicaid and SNAP. We're prepared to fight against this ill-conceived idea. Congressmember Maxwell Frost in Florida just confirmed that the Trump administration shut down the Medicaid portal for Florida. There were over 3.8 million Floridians on Medicaid. This Fact Post News, I think, says it well. So will Trump let 72 million Americans on Medicaid go without access to life-saving critical care? Will Trump let seniors waiting for Meals on Wheels go hungry? Will Trump leave veterans without a roof over their head? Will Trump let 41 million families that rely on food stamps go hungry? Will Trump gut cancer research programs, rolling back years of efforts to help save the lives of millions of Americans? Will Trump leave pregnant mothers and newborns without critical nutrition assistance? Will Trump leave millions of Americans suffering from natural disasters without relief? Will Trump leave children who rely on the Head Start program without critical early education programs? Because this federal funding freeze and Trump's other executive orders do just that. Folks, we're learning now that a litigation was just brought by nonprofits and public health groups in Washington, D.C. to challenge Donald Trump's federal aid freeze. This lawsuit was just filed by a coalition of nonprofits and public health advocates asking a federal judge for an emergency order to block Donald Trump from imposing a sweeping plan to halt all federal aid programs. Quote, given the few hours that remain before federal grantees are thrown into disarray, thrown on the street, thrown without getting the surgeries and procedures they need to live, plaintiffs file this complaint and seek a temporary restraining order to maintain the status quo until the court has an opportunity to more fully consider the illegality of Trump administration's actions. And by the way, it's already thrown it into disarray because all of these Medicaid portals have now been shut down. People can't access it. People are in trauma right now as a result of Donald Trump's actions. But what are they doing on Trump propaganda networks? I'm not making this up, folks. They are eating tacos while they are mocking people who are being rounded up and deported. And they're saying to themselves, this taco's yummy. I'm feeling very good today. This is what Trump's propaganda TV, this is MAGA. This is their cruelty here. Let me show it to you. Let's play this clip.
What are you gonna do? Will you come take it out of my ham? I'm gonna eat half this plate during the break. Maybe I'll call the ICE hotline. I don't know if I'll have enough time. Sure. All kidding aside, it was actually really good taco. These people broke the law. They broke the law to get here.
Folks, here is what Democratic Senator Patty Murray had to say moments ago. Let's play it.
In a brazen and illegal move, the Trump administration is working to freeze huge amounts of federal funding passed into law by Republicans and Democrats alike. The scope of this illegal action is unprecedented and could have devastating consequences across the country for real people. We could see a screeching halt to resources for childcare, cancer research, housing, police officers, opioid addiction treatment, rebuilding roads and bridges, and even disaster relief efforts. He was just in California to witness the devastation, and now he is holding back that aid. Trump's actions would wreak havoc in red and blue communities everywhere. This is funding that communities are expecting, and this memo is creating chaos and confusion about whether these resources will be available to them. Entire budgets and payrolls across the country are carefully hinging on these resources. We are talking about our small towns, our cities, our school districts, our universities, and a lot more. This illegal move is a massive overreach by the Trump administration. The American people did not vote for this kind of senseless chaos.
And folks, here is what Democratic Senator Chris Murphy had to say moments ago. Let's play it.
So last night, Donald Trump announced that he was going to implement a shutoff to virtually all federal funding in this country. Let me tell you why that really matters. First, it matters to you and your family and your community. That means that police officers don't get federal funding. That means firefighters don't get federal funding. That means your schools that your kids go to don't get their federal funding. That means nursing homes are shut off from funding. This is an immediate crisis for our kids, for public safety, for our seniors, for our healthcare system. And why? Because Donald Trump is trying to seize power. That is what is happening. Take together everything that has happened in the first week and understand it as part of the same story. First, the immunization of political violence. If you commit violence in my name, then you will be excused and let off the hook. The firing of all of the inspector generals that sit inside these agencies to make sure that your money, taxpayer money, isn't being stolen from you. And now the decision by Donald Trump to shut down all federal money except the money he wants to spend. And guess where Donald Trump is going to decide to unfreeze federal grants? To the companies run by his billionaire friends, to the states and congressional districts run by members of Congress or governors that are loyal to him. All of a sudden, we transition from a democracy to a monarchy, because that's what a king does, uses the money in the treasury to reward his friends and to punish his enemies. That is what Donald Trump announced last night, that he alone, not the voters, not members of Congress, will decide who gets money, what schools get funded, what hospitals stay open, and nobody else. That's not democracy. Yes, the funding freeze is going to make life miserable for regular people. But we are also confronting a constitutional crisis that requires all of us, Democrats, the media, Republicans, the American people, to rise to this moment.
Well, there you have it, folks. We'll keep you posted with all of the information as it's coming in. A lot of breaking news. Donald Trump just stomping on the hopes and dreams and health, whether you're in a red state or a blue state. Donald Trump just gave you the middle finger and said, remember those oligarchs? Yeah, I am cutting your programs, red state, blue states, Democrat, Republicans. Unless you're a billionaire, we're going to take what you have and we're going to give it to the billionaires. Pathetic. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. We're unapologetically pro-democracy here. We will always be reporting on the truth.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.